Hi, everybody. I'm just starting a few minutes early. Let people know I'm really here. And look, I have a camera. Still not sure how much of tonight's you're really gonna see anything but my hands, but I figure that's okay. And I'm just sitting here doing a couple of last minute little ditties. And so I hope you guys watched the video. Not my video, the video that I referenced in tonight's advanced scheduling. I'll need to get the side shot up here in a minute. Got one more, I'm doing one more thing here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can find the side shot. Oh, cool. You know, this is a brand new camera here, guys. So this is all right. Let's see if we can find the side shot. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I want to do. Okay. So I have the side chat up. I have the art window open. And I have company already. Hi, Mouse Toes. Hi, Diane, to Camper. But not going to sit here for 10 and a half hours waiting. Got things to do, people to see, and places to go. But not necessarily in that order. Okay, Diane. I don't plan on being here for 10 and a half hours either, nor do I plan on making anybody wait that long. Fuzz for, we'll gather up some cats, fresh coffee, and scratch my behind in that order. You guys are in good form tonight. Hey, Dory Lynn. Oh, thanks, Fuzz Fork. I figure I'll give it like 10, 15 minutes at the most before we actually start moving. Did you guys, any of you guys watch the video from Willowing? You guys got really quiet all of a sudden on the side chat. I guess nobody had time to watch the video. I hope it means the side chat's still working. Oh. Yeah, well, my post came up, so please let me know how the audio and the visual is as far as the picture. This is all new camera tonight, all new process that I'm using. So I'm like really shocked so far. There have been not very many snafus, and I thought maybe there would be. So it's like there's not, and I'm like a little nervous. Dory Lynn, nope, it's 45 minutes long, just found out about it. Oh, I'm sorry, Dory Lynn. I was afraid people wouldn't see it in the description. Well, we'll just wing it anyway. I knew I should have made a separate video post and put up, but then I thought, no, put it in the description and people will see it. I was afraid of that. Well, live and learn, right? This is all, first time stuff, so we'll have some first time problems or mistakes or whatever term you want to use for it. Learning curve. And then next time things will run smoother. I'll know not to trust the description box if I really want somebody to see it. I'm having a technical difficulty tonight. You are coming in fine. Volume good. Thanks, Dory Lynn. You noticed I gave you the wrench of power. And I fully expect you to use it. I want no disrespect in the side chat at all. So if somebody comes in and gives us any negativity, please just take them out. I don't think I can wrench tonight. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, as soon as we get more people, Diane, would you also be a moderator? I mean, I'm going to give you the wrench of power as well, a moderator power. And that allows you to take anybody out of the side chat that needs to be taken out. It's pretty clear cut as to who comes in for the art and who comes in to raise to just make trouble. So Diane, I don't know what I just did. I took out your first comment. It looks like I removed you, which I didn't mean to. So now I'm going to make your second comment a moderator and hope that works. Hi, Hugo. Oh, darling, I'm sorry. I miss not having you here. But I don't know what you're going to... Did you try restarting your whole mouse? I mean, your whole computer? Yeah, I'm not sure Diane's come back yet either. Well, 8:15, I'm going to start doing something. And what time is it? 8:08. Not going to wait a whole lot longer, guys. There's only 7 of us here right at the moment. And of course I don't. I pre-scheduled it, but I'm not sure how that all that pre-scheduling stuff works. I've never done that before. I've just went on and started up a hangout, and it's 9 p.m. here. Yeah. Aren't those other girls done with their dishes? Well, it depends. The East Coast, of course, it's oh no, that would be East Coast time, 9 o'clock. Yeah. I just don't know how many of these coasters we're going to lose. I will watch, of course. Yes, I'm troubleshooting. I haven't found the issue yet. Guess I will have to keep my chatting to a minimum for a change. Aw. When I do dishes, I put them on the floor, call the dog, and then put them back in the cupboard. Fuzz fork, you're so funny. However, I have 2 that would be more than excited to do that for us as well. Can't say that I've ever given them the chance, though. Roll call, raising hands. Oh, you're here. And Diane, if you'll notice, you have a blue wrench in front of your name. That means I made you a moderator. And that also means that you have the power to click on someone's name and, or not click on it, but hover over it then you would go to the flag on the right-hand side of their name. And if they are unpleasant folks in our side chat, that will then allow you to say goodbye to them. So please use it as fit as need be. I want the chat. So even though I'm open to the chat doing the chat thing, I still want the chat side to be pleasant. Dory Lynn's also got the wrench of power, but she's having computer trouble. Oh, good. Thanks, Dory. Dory Lynn, I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. It's 11 after. Couple of more minutes. Since it's the first time and the first night, I don't want to do anything. I want to give people a chance to get here. Guys, I'll be right back. Okay, guys. We have 13 here now, so I think... Oh, hi, Janet. Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Don't touch me with that hammer, Diane. Okay, Derlin. She'll be right back. All right, I'm going to set the camera where you can see something other than the archival ink pad. Here is, now, I'm going to refer a lot to the video, and when I do, I'm talking about the prompt video that I put up in the description. However, apparently the description is not a good place to put that information, and I should have done a video. I kind of thought I should have, but I didn't, because I thought, oh no, it's in the description, but people just didn't see it. So what we're doing, well, I'm still trying to figure this camera thing. I've heard other people that make videos say that it takes time to get used to the camera. Which one am I? There we go. Okay, so we are doing a 2-page spread. And first I want to show you this. I got a couple of things I want to show you. First, I want to show you this little book. Oh yeah, of course it's backwards. Okay, it says Artist Oil Color Pad, and then it says the same thing in a different language. You get 12 sheets of 120-pound paper, and of all places, I found it at Dollar Tree. Now, I have never seen anything like this at Dollar Tree before in the stationery section, but I was really excited about finding some art supplies like that there. I then also found this one, which again is backwards, but it says Artist Watercolor Pads. Now, this is 96-pound paper, And it also was $1, and it has 15 sheets. So if you're just getting started in art journaling and you don't know for sure how much you'll do art journaling, you know, this has, well, 12 pages would give you 24 front and backs. I think so. So, you know, it gives you a place to start for $1. Of course, I know Janet talked in her last video about reusing old books. And I have a whole shelf of books for just that purpose. I have trouble figuring out. Okay, so that's the page I'm looking at. So this is the page I want to see. Okay. Whoop, there went the camera. Slid right off the table on its little tripod. I'm drinking coffee and typing considered multitasking. Yes, you are multitasking. Oh, it's not backwards to you guys. Wonderful. That's good to know. It's only on my screen that it's backwards. Great. Okay. The tutorial that I was hoping people would watch was called Processing Feelings Through Creativity, Part 1, Mixed Media Art with Willowing. So the first thing we're going to do is grab pens, crayons, magic markers, colored pencils, whatever it is that you have in your collection or in your home. And we are going to start writing down words that we want to use to describe feelings. Now, you probably want to pick one general topic. Many times art journaling is used for either when one is angry or when one is hurt. It can also be when one is overwhelmed with sadness or when one is feeling extremely lucky and loved. So there are many opportunities to art journal based on some of your inner feelings. Okay, now I encourage you to go watch. Hi, Dave. I encourage you to go watch the videos in the description after the hangout, because she will do a much better job of explaining this than I will. Step 1, write words about your feelings. They do not have to be neat. They do not have to be legible. All you do is write. And you do not have to fill up the page with tiny little printing. You can write big, you can scribble, you can do whatever you want, just so that you know that you've expressed yourself. So I'm going to start writing my feelings about my topic. You may or may not be able to read them, but the purpose of this is so that if you're playing along, I don't lead you down a path. You write your own words, your own thoughts. And you can write right across the page because this is a 2-page spread. Got it. My little tripod-y thing, even though it's little, is sitting right in front of me. Is anybody playing along? I'm just curious. This is going to be, there's going to be points in time when there's just nobody talking. At least, no, I shouldn't say that. There are going to be points in time when I'm not talking. So, okay, so you go through the words and you put them on the paper just like I did. Then you get a different color ink and you hang on, gotta pick the camera up. You write more about that feeling, that emotion, that event that brought you to your art journal. Oops. Legs weren't out on the tripod. The orange doesn't show up for me. I mean, it actually looks better on camera than it does for me. Oops. It's kind of funny. I practiced today and I didn't have nearly the trouble I'm having now with the camera staying on the table. I might have to tape it down. Okay. Third color. Again, this would make more sense if you were hearing the wisdom. Whoops. If you were hearing the wisdom that the videos shared with you. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can watch them later. Okay. Now I've turned it upside down. And now I'm just writing like keywords that I now see are coming through with my feelings in the other two colors of ink. Okay. I've used 3 colors of ink and I've went in 3 different directions. And as you can see, it's a scribbled mess, but that's the purpose. It's to start that first layer. Most people, when they sit down in front of a piece of white paper, find it, I don't know, what's the word? They freeze. I freeze. It happens to me every time if I start with a white sheet of paper. So what the whole process of this tutorial is to get you through the fear or the white, what we call the white paper syndrome. Get anything on paper. And you have now done that. So we're going to go with some paint. And in the video, you will see where a product, oh, speaking of products, I want to stop here and do 2 shout outs. The first one are for any supplies, not going to be close enough. Any supplies that you decide you want in your art room. The first shout out is for Tupelo Designs LLC, and this is the business card. And the www is Tupelo Designs with an S, small l, small c as in cat, .com. And this company is owned by Michael Kindleworth. And if any of you follow very many of the art channels, his wife is Jane, and Jane has a website or a YouTube channel called Velocity Vet 08. VEL. Here, I'll type it in the side chat. It's just easier. VEL. I can't remember how to spell it. VELO. That's it. Velocity. And then the vet is VETTE 08. That is Jane's YouTube channel. And Jane got me into all kinds of art over the period of time I've been sharing or starting art. I mean, not sharing, but starting art. Yep, Velocity. If I didn't spell that, oh, it's a C. Okay, thanks, Granny. My spelling sometimes is atrocious. Okay, so please change that in the website. It's a C, not an S. Jane and Mike have a store, an online business that is based out of St. Louis. And Jane has her YouTube channel. And I'm saying and a lot, aren't I? Sorry. They have all the latest and greatest when it comes to availability. And I just want to support them. The business is relatively new. So I want to give them a shout out. Okay. All right. In the video, does Janice? Oh, if anybody wants, yeah, maybe that won't work. Okay, I'm just moving on. The other crafter that I wanted to give you a business card shout out for is Saw Crafters. Saw Crafters is out of Oklahoma. Saw is S-A and then Crafters. She too is on YouTube. And let's see, does she put her YouTube channel in here? I think it's just Saw Crafters. All one word, S-A Crafters. Saw does wood cutouts as well as a paper, you know, that thick paper stuff. Anyway, there's the tutorials that she does are amazing. And again, I would highly recommend her for any products that she has in her store that interest you. So another shout out for Saw. All right. In the video, there's a product called a jelly plate that is used. And jelly plates, the only way I can explain what a jelly plate is if you've ever played with like a Jello product or Knox gelatin and you decrease the water that is supposed to be added like by half or more, and it just becomes kind of this rubbery product, but yet it's not gooey. That's the best I can do for you folks. It's a really strange product. There are recipes on YouTube to make your own jelly plate, and my guess is it uses Knox gelatin. But the purpose of a jelly plate is to do just whatever you want. So we're going to start with a little paint. And of course, my colors tend to run in the lavenders and the blues, maybe some green. This is a little jar, so I'm going to use a palette knife. Okay. So now I have my colors on there. And if I can quickly find, I totally forgot to locate like an old key card or an old outdated or expired credit card. Aha. Here we go. All right. I found one. So now you play around with swirling this on what she calls a jelly plate. Looks like I got a lot of green. So we'll have to add some more blues and lavenders. Well, we didn't want to add that much. Whoop. Okay, so everything's falling all over the place. Now this yellow thing that I'm using came from the dollar store, and they call it a mini cutting board. I liked it because it has a really interesting texture to it, and so I thought it might really make an interesting print on the paper. All right, let's see. I think we need a little more blue. These are Martha Stewart paints I'm using, and they're pearl with a pearl finish, and so they have kind of a muted sheen to them. All right, I like that, and I'm going to stop there. Wipe my fingers off on a paper towel. Now I'm going to take my little cutting board, and I'm going to press it down and pick it up. And I'm going to press it down and pick it up. And yes, I'm going to cover up my words. And that's okay. All right, what have I got left? I still have some paint left here. And I also have a camera. It just fell. All right. And you can kind of see the pattern on the little yellow pad here thing that I'm using. And I'm going to just, seems like we have a lot of green still, so I'm going to add some more blue. And since I squirted out all that purple by accident, I'm just wiggling this paint across this yellow board and making patterns out of it. And here's what it looks like as I've wiggled. Okay. All right. Turn it upside down and press and lift up. Ooh, I like that side. I like the way that came out. Okay. Not sure I have much paint left. Yeah, I think we're done with the fake jelly plate. I think you could do the same thing with a piece of parchment paper when I squirted out too much of the purple, I scraped it off the page and grabbed a piece of parchment paper I had close. And I think you could do the same thing on parchment paper. That little cutting board for $1 definitely worked. And so there's some ideas. You can also invest in the jelly plates. They have them at Tupelo Designs. They come in many sizes. And if you liked spin art when you were a kid, where you dropped paint on a page and then it went around and around and around and spun the paint everywhere, a jelly print or a jelly making or jelly print making, I guess is what you would call it, would be similar to that in some ways. Obviously, it doesn't spin, but it just gives you some of the most unusual combinations when you overlap the paint and swirl them around, and people really seem to enjoy doing it. I have not invested in a jelly plate because I have so much money invested in craft supplies, to the point that I am so out of room that I haven't gone that way. And I seem to be able to come up with a fairly similar end result with other products. So hang on, folks. I do not know if I mute. I will try. I muted because I need to dry this paint before we can go to the next step. So I'm drying the paint with the heat gun. It sounds like a blow dryer, but it is hotter. And here's what it looks like. This one I think might be Martha Stewart, but Tim Holtz has his brand, and I'm sure there are just generic brands. This gets much hotter than a blow dryer, and as you can see, it has a much smaller end where the heat comes out. Okay, so I'll try muting myself again and see the camera now has the mic. So I'm not sure if it's going to mute, but I'm going to try. It says it muted the last time. Okay, it feels pretty dry. So we're going to move on to the next step. Give me 1 minute.
Not being upset because I'm not, but I'll write down how I'm feeling right now.
Okay. So next thing we're going to do is draw. If you are someone that draws and likes to do drawings, the next thing to do is to pick a place on your 2-page spread to draw a face. And if you don't like faces, then draw a flower. If you don't like to draw faces or flowers, then draw an animal. It's whatever you like to do. I do not draw. I have no drawing talent. I may doodle a great deal, but I don't draw in any sense. I mean, my stickmen don't look like stickmen, folks. That's how bad I draw. Okay, so I like the face idea, but I come up with my own alternative to drawing, and that is collaging. I enjoy collaging. I enjoy collecting the bits and pieces of magazines, newspapers, whatever it is I find. And then I enjoy putting them together in some interesting project after I cut them out. So I'm using this lady, which helps represent the words that were on my page. Now, is that an absolute? Does your words and your artwork necessarily have to represent one another? Not if you don't want them to. It's your art journal. Alrighty. I can't decide where I want her. Yeah, I think I'm putting her in the middle. There she goes. All right, now I have to get this glue off my fingers. That's a really nice glue. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of E6000. It's like the ultimate glue. Holds all kinds of art projects together when you use E6000, especially metal to, let's see, metal to wood, that kind of thing. The problem with E6000 is I think you can smell it afterwards for like a month. And this is supposed to be an alternative. It's a product from Jane. And what is it called? Kalala glue. And it comes from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. So at times she has difficulty getting it from the suppliers. So if you ever want to try it and you see she has it, grab it quick because it doesn't last long. And there are two types of it. One is more of Elmer's type looking glue that dries very quick. It's called tacky glue, and it's also by the Kalala brand. Okay. Now, I need to get the extra pieces of her off of here. I'm going to move the camera for just a minute, otherwise it's just going to fall. Alrighty. So I'm going to fold the page over for just a minute. The paint's dry. I should be able to see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to just tear the paint or the magazine. I'm just going to tear it off where it interferes or where it hangs over the page. The first one tore very easily, and now this one is not tearing as easily. Okay, so let's turn it back over. And her top is pretty jagged now. I'm going to see if this works from the side. And then maybe I wouldn't be knocking it off the table so frequently. I thought it would work having the camera right in front of me. And it does, but for some reason it keeps sliding off the table. Alrighty. Let's move on to the next step. And we're going to go back to, let's see. Maybe just the orange magic marker. And she's already got the fire. So I think I'm just going to draw some lines. I guess I'm drawing orange hair. And it really doesn't show up. So I wonder what I have that would look anything like orange. Orange is not a color in my palette that I go to very often, but I never know what I have hidden away in my paint stash. Aha, what's this one? Altered orange. All right. So I think I'm going to stick a brush, a very thin brush, and I think I will make very thin lines with a very thin brush, and hopefully add some orange paint to the page, just in strips and maybe around the top a little bit, that give just the idea of long flowing hair. If you have a brush that's called a fan brush, it might work better than the brush I'm using. But I've never worked with a fan brush very much, so I can't attest to that for sure. Okay, I'm gonna do some around her face. I'm surprised the paint is. I was going to put clear gesso on her after I got her down on paper because it's slick, and usually the paint isn't very happy on slick magazine paper. But I forgot to put the clear gesso down, and oh well. That is the fun of art journaling. There are no mistakes. Art journaling is all about doing whatever you feel like doing at the time you're doing it. I'm not overly impressed with my hair. It just looks like an orange blob. Oh well. Okay, done with the orange. Washing out my brush. I ruin more brushes. I don't wash them out, or I stick them in the water and then I forget about them. And let me tell you, after 3 or 4 days, they are not in good shape from sitting in the water. The lid on this is just full of paint, and I'm trying to, oh, well, yeah, I'm just making more of a mess. Oh, well, I guess it just goes back on and hope that the next time I want orange paint, I can actually open that bottle. Okay, so we got our orange paint on here, and I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer just for a minute. Oh. Mouse, so what can't Mouse said we couldn't see. Is that any better? Hopefully. Okay. So let me turn this back around the way I had it before because I think the light was better. Let me get my little paper towel out of the way. And there's that orange paint does not do anything to be considered hair, but, and we still have the other side that we're going to work on. Okay. All right. How are we doing? An hour. Okay. Not bad. I can't wait for you to see how a real artist goes after this. If you watch the video, you'll realize how lame mine is. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is deal with the seam. I'm going to move a couple of things here. And I think what I'll do is the same thing that you'll see in the video, and that is the use of washi tape. So, and I have so much washi tape. Just looking, seeing which ones. Attract my I really like the colors in this one, so I think I might go with that. There's a peachy orange, some green, so I think it complements the colors on the page. Blinky's wanting to, I think, do some oil work, oil painting, oil projects, whatever, however you want to term it. And I can't wait because you have to you have to believe when I say I am not an artist. I am not an artist. I wish I knew how to get this plastic off of here. So when you see people that really do art, finally, my goodness. I hope you enjoy, and don't be too critical of my playing. Oh, there goes the camera. Oh yeah, I think that looks really good. All right. Now the thing about washi tape is that you do have to watch it because sometimes it needs to be helped along and sticking with possibly some additional adhesives, but some of it comes out really well. Some of the washi tape really sticks well, and others of it just does not. Trying to marry these two pages together. So adding bits and pieces. Okay. All right. I think that's good. I really like that choice. Okay. I think now it's time to do some edging. I want the project will look just more finished if it has an edging color around the outside of the paper. It can be any color you want. Usually people that I see do it in dark. So I chose a brown. I'm going to move the camera again to the side. Okay. And I'm going to edge around this piece of paper. This is a black archival ink. This is not paint. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Who is it? Granny? I think it's Granny. Granny's a sculpture artist. And I'm sitting here dinking around with, oh, okay. See, I get real intimidated when I do my silly little artwork around people that have really true art talent. And Granny is one of those people. Real, definite, true artistic talent. However, she worked in a completely different medium. Ceramic, porcelain, I believe. But someday, hopefully, we can get her to... There's not really anything we could do as a group, but maybe we could just get her to do a short show and tell. I know that when we talked one night, she said that she gave so much of it away, but she might have a few pieces if she looked around. Plus, she might have some with family that don't live too far away. All right. Oh, there's what it looks like after it's edged. On one side anyway. All right. Now, I'm sorry, side chat, if I'm missing hellos and things of that nature. Hi to everybody. Thank you for coming. And I hope you enjoy the project. I just really can't watch the side chat and do the artwork at the same time. All righty. hopefully you kind of get a feel. It's easier to move the camera, I'm telling you. There you go. You can kind of see the brown and the texture that came off of the yellow board. So, alrighty, I'm going to do the other side. Sometimes being left-handed is not the easiest. I usually don't have much of a problem with it, but every once in a while. But maybe right-handed people have a problem once in a while too. I don't know. Okay. I think I pretty well covered it. And I also misplaced the lid after. Ah, here it is. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I did find a rubber stamp that I wanted to use, and it looks like a post date on an envelope. So I decided that I thought that would work with what I was doing. Okay. Clean off my rubber stamp here. Alrighty, I'm done with my ink. Okay. Now, I'm back to put this box. And I have one other piece of decoupage that I want to put on. That again has an abstract connection to the words that I put on the paper. This is a Collage Page by Aileen's, and I've just really enjoyed working with the product. And when I'm gluing in a Mod Podge or in a decoupage type of way, I use it quite frequently. It'll also help make sure that the washi tape doesn't come up. I hope you're not seeing this ridiculous ad that keeps coming up wanting to update something. There you go. All right. A little bit more on my brush. See if I can get around the camera and work with my right hand. I just tacked these pieces together ahead of time before the show started, thinking that once I adhered them to the paper, I could get all the edges and everything done. All right, brush into the water, much put away. Now, oops, I don't know if that'd work or not. There's one side. There's the other side. And now this is not in the original tutorial that I recommended you watch, but I really like texture, and so at this point I might add some glass bead gel medium. I might add some fiber paste, but none of that was done in the original videos so that I recommended you watch. So I think this is pretty much accomplished in my style and in my attempts to replicate what I watched in the prompts. And it really came out, I never know how things are going to come out. You just do what you feel. I kind of don't like this naked area. And so kind of want to play there a little bit. Oh, I know. One of the things that I could do that I might, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll show you in a minute. For some reason, these raw edges are just not making me happy. So I guess we just... add some along the bottom here. Okay. I can... I like that a little better. Okay. Now, we should be able to see right there. One of the things that I'm going to do just to connect the two pages together is just a little doodling. Nothing. Nothing with any repetition. Nothing with any, you know, just doodles. These are just circles with dots in the center after I did the swirly pattern. And now I think I'll just bring a string from every dot into the center. And then in the center, add another black dot. Maybe I'll add just a goofy squiggle line here. Okay. Then I'm going to do just some random squiggles around my lady. It's kind of like a vine pattern. And I might actually go and put some leaves in the vine. At least on the lady. Oh, it kind of came out like a heart. Unintentional. All right. Let me turn this around again. Tip up the camera. Slide it in a little. All right. Okay, folks. I call that an art journal page. I hope that you get the concept anyway. And I do hope at some point in time you go and watch the YouTube video that is attached to this video in the description. It's a wonderful, wonderful tutorial. And I really, truly think you would enjoy it. All righty. Anyone have any questions? We're right at an hour and a half. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate that. Thanks, Dee. I had great inspiration from Willowing. And yet I altered her technique quite a bit. Thanks, Tina. I'm a real blue and lavender. I really love those colors. Diane Two Camper, thank you. Great, Dee. I'm glad you got here on time. Thanks, Story Lynn. You're a lifesaver. Great, Janet. I'm glad you enjoyed the hangout. I hope everyone else did. That's funny you say that, Fuzz Fork, because that's pretty much what my art journal page is about. If you're at all curious what the motivation behind my page was, it's pretty well summed up in Fuzz Fork's last comment. Yeah. Oh, listen, Tina, I've been known to take the whole magazine if I needed to. I'm a terrible person admitting that online. How often do I art journal? Not often enough. I keep telling you I doodle. So I will share this doodle book. And maybe some other time I'll share the art, oh, things are falling down. The collage book that I have as an art journal. My art journaling does not have anywhere near the written material like Janet talks about. The written language is just not, verbal is fine, but I find written language hard to express. Debbie will never find her list now. How long have I been doing art journaling? I picked it up. It's been kind of a rage on YouTube, and I picked it up probably over the last year. But again, my art journaling is very different from what a lot of people do. A lot of people put a lot of written material in their art journaling, and my art journaling probably has maybe some random words that I've cut out. Once in a while, I might actually write some words, but or use rubber stamps. But most of the time, I collage. Here's some of my doodles that I talk about doing. It's all completely random. There's no thought to it. Well, I shouldn't say that. When I get to a specific area like this, okay, I think about doing this, or I think about doing this in the teardrop shape. But as far as the starting points and that, there's no big thought into that. Yeah, Dory Lynn, the written stuff. I've started written journals over and over and over, and I'll write a page or 3 pages, and the next time I go back to it, it's 3 years later. And I just said that's enough. Written journals are not my thing. Here's another doodle page. Now, I do not Zen doodle. I find Zen doodling very rigid. And what do I do with the art journals? I have not filled a book yet. So right now they're just kind of everywhere. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're either on the bookshelf or in my craft room. And I just look at them, I'll thumb back through them. And I just enjoy them. Oops. There we go again. Here's another one. Now, this is really odd. I do not know when I started this if I was trying to resolve a conflict. I should have wrote. Now, see, this was something I maybe should have wrote, but I ended up with a question mark on my doodle page. And whether I drew the question mark to start with, or if it shaped itself in some way, and I just went with it. This is a page now I do wish maybe I would have made some notes about. or at least indicated what was going on. And this is the last one that's in this book, and it's fairly unusual for me because it's colors. I don't know why, but I tend to stay in the black and white realm. But on this particular page, I felt oceany. I mean, to me, it's like a seagrassy kind of thing that you might see in the ocean with ocean bubbles coming up. No idea if that's what it started, you know. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes I should write, maybe I should write notes about why, you know, if I had a thought or a purpose or something specific in my mind when I did a page, but I never have done that. So doesn't mean I couldn't, it just means I haven't. Well, overhead cameras, I might be able to rig this one up to be overhead. I didn't try. This one's on its little tripod, and it can be taken off the tripod, but then you got to figure out what to do with it. So I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn with the camera, and I have a lot to learn about how to do this type of video, because I've never done anything like this before. Something live when I'm showing other people. Yeah, this is a first for me. Yeah, one of the things I see you guys talking about mailing stuff. One of the things that as a group we could get into doing are ATC cards. I don't know if you know what those are. ATC stands for Artist Trading Cards. And they're a lot of fun. Fun to send out. Fun to share. They're 3.5 by, I think the standard size on an artist trading card is 3.5 by 4.5. And they're the size of a playing card. And you may think, well, what art can you do on something the size of a playing card? I've seen, if you Google it on, or not Google it, if you do a YouTube search for if you did a YouTube search for ATCs, artist trading cards, you will be shocked. Or if you do a Pinterest search for artist trading cards. Yep. Deb, art with kids is wonderful. I wish I'd have done so much more art with Aaron and his friends when he was a little guy. I was just something, now that's actually a Xeroxed copy of something I doodled. You know, I copied it, I laid the original on the printer, and then copied it. I don't know what everyone's up to tonight. Does anyone want to come on the panel now? Because earlier, the only reason I didn't know about panel people is because the little icons across the bottom of the screen take up space, and I wasn't sure that I didn't need all the space for showing the artwork, so showing the art journal. That's a great idea with kids, Janice. You bet. Anyway, does anybody want to come on the panel and chit chat? Wow, that is early, Granny. 4 a.m. Woo! I bet you're about ready for a pillow and a blanket. Yep, someday somebody will find them unless they end up in the trash before then. Mouse Hose, I'm so glad you made it tonight. Night, Granny. Thanks for coming. You'll have to think about taking one of the nights and showcasing some of your past work. Hi, Batman. Well, thanks, Mouseto. I really appreciate your compliments. You like the idea, Dory Lynn? It is it's so much fun. You take, like, for this group, you would take a theme, like Janet's kind of done it with her next show. She's doing fall. So you would take a theme, and everybody that wants to participate would, you would have to get a number. So let's say 10 people in the group want to participate. So you would make 10 ATC cards that were all very similar with a fall theme. And then you would send them out. And in the end, you would send out 10, and in the end, you would get back 10. And it's just great fun to collect. So much fun. And ATC cards fit into those plastic liners that baseball cards fit into. So you can actually start making a notebook, which many people do, of the artist trading cards that they collect. And, you know, because they've swapped with another art. I think you could do either. I don't see where that's a problem, Dory Lynn, with it being digital graphics. There's a lot of digital stuff done if you look at Pinterest. Yeah, it has to be a general theme. You know, you could specify it more to Halloween. Of course, you know, in February, people do artist trading cards in Valentine's Day themes, and then spring. Or you could do something, you know, off the beaten path. Um, I'm trying to think of something that would be not. The measurements, the size of a playing card, 3.5, I believe, by 4.5. The size of a deck of cards. Yeah, and I think baseball cards are about that same size as well. Yes, I think. I've never held a baseball card in my hand, and so I can't take a baseball card and compare it to a deck of cards. But I know that the ATCs will fit in those plastic liners that baseball cards fit in. Dory Lynn, I don't think so. I think they're 2.5 by 3.5. But I could be wrong. Trying to see if I have any artist trading cards here. Yeah. I just happen to have a package of artist trading cards I can show you. I would say these came from, I'm guessing these may have came from Michael's. Of course, they could have come from Hobby Lobby. I cut a lot of my own, but for some reason I wanted this craft color, this brown color. Now let's find, there's 20 in a package. Paid $1.99 for them. And where is, there we go. Standard tuna. Oh my goodness. What does that say? You guys can read it better than I can because on my screen it's backwards. I still think it says 2.5 by 3.5. And I can take one out. Well, I can when I figure out. There it is. They're not very sturdy paper. I sometimes, see, that's actually 2 of them. It's pretty flimsy paper. But that's the space you have to work in. And it's amazing what you can do with that space. Don't hesitate to look on Pinterest. because that will definitely give you some ideas of what people do on trading cards. So Dorian Lynn, you went and got a baseball card. Is that the same size as a baseball? Okay, I measured 2.5 by 3. Yep, it is the exact same size as a baseball card. Okay. Great. Anyway, people pass these things around within a group. Another thing that I could show you that is done by groups are letter journals. And that is a different size, giving you more space. But they pass those around, and here's one. Oh, nope, that's not a letter journal, but it's a similar size. Oh, that's strange. I don't. Oh, maybe they're in this. Oh, they were in this sack. I'll show you mine, and you'll really understand the process. Okay. Whoops. You make your letter journal out of computer paper. I don't know what you're seeing. Okay, you start out with your letter journal made out of computer paper. Okay, there we go. It goes all the way up. And this is a real strange piece of paper I had that I added to the front of the computer paper. Then I added a back sheet. And here's some of the work that I got done, or that was added to my letter journal. Isn't she beautiful? Here's the opposite page, done with the Asian theme. This is a page done with ballerinas. This was done by Meridell Abrams, who I saw Janet give a shout out about the Mary Atelier. I was in her group. Create. And this was done by Mary as well. Anyway, when you send these out, they're empty, and they're just folded sheets of computer paper. And you send them out. to the group of 5. You send one to the group of 5 people that are in your group. And you have a month to do your work. And then you send it to the next person on the list. This is another Mary page. Whoops. Not that you can see it. Mary does incredible stained glass type work. The little piece of wording says, "My heart sings country music." Although this is a collage page, this is not done by me. This was done by one of the people in my group. Here's a page of a group member that focused on her home country in a collage manner. And then this is the last page. And this was a note from Mary. And this was my note to everyone in the group. Oh, and here are some tags. These are a little bigger than ATCs that you can send out. And pass around with each other. I put the tags in the letter journal and then ask everyone to fill out one of the tags any way they wanted, and then to put it back in my book when it came back to me. And it looks like most people stamped, used a rubber stamp, wrote a note, and dated it. Rubber stamping is so popular. It's an older art form. I mean, rubber stamping has been around for a long time, but they have what do I want to call it? They have perfected rubber stamps in a way that's different. You know, they all used to be mounted on wood blocks, and they're very different now. And they adhere to an acrylic block. So, all right, it's 10 o'clock. We've been on for 2 hours. No one seems to, which is fine, but no one seems to be in the, yeah, let's have a panel chat. So maybe it's time. I see a lot of good nights. So maybe it's time to call this over. Okay. Yep, Deb, I understand, or D, I understand. It's later in some of the time zones, so it's 10 here, which means it's 11 or 12 somewhere out east. All righty, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next Wednesday with another project of some kind. All righty. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks, Janet. All righty. I'm going to shut her off. I think the goodbyes and good nights are over. Thanks, Deb. All righty. Night, everybody.